Whew. The wind is blowing. There's a ton of snow. And I'm going to be on the way out now. It's extremely windy, very, very cold. Most of the time it's hanging around between 0 and 10 degrees Fahrenheit. These clips are not in chronological order, but this is what it's like to be out in that winter storm. So I've got a lot of crash clips coming for you, a lot of interesting situations, a lot of damage, a lot of expensive repair bills incoming. This guy slid out and was blocking that outside lane. The van in front of him just tied a rope to the front of him and they dragged him up to the next exit. Where they went from there, I have no idea. But at least this one wasn't hit. This is a situation where a vehicle managed to wedge itself under the back of a semi-truck. Please, please slow down. Don't be in a hurry. Drive only as fast as the conditions allow. Don't be reckless. Don't be stupid. Don't make bad decisions just to try to get there a couple seconds earlier. Luckily, it seems as if the damage was confined to the engine bay area and it wasn't actually into the cabin area, but I have seen these crashes where the top of the vehicle is missing and also the top of the people are missing. These can end very badly, very quickly, and it's never worth trying to be in this much of a rush to get to wherever you're going. A lot of these crashes and a lot of these situations that I'm about to show you, I have full, complete videos and breakdowns of, so check out my channel for more of that. This is going to be basically a highlight reel of a couple days of mid-January winter blizzards. See a lot more carnage, a lot more damage. That car is obviously totaled, and I don't think there were any fatalities, but definitely going to be some injuries. This ambulance is going to be taking that next exit to go to the hospital, and nobody seems to want to be slowing down to let it in. You see emergency services trying to get in traffic, give them the space. They're not trying to cut you off, they're just trying to help whoever's in the back. Now, part of towing is also cleaning up the mess, not just moving cars around. So this tow truck driver is taking a scoop shovel and picking up all those plastic headlight pieces and all that stuff and just shoving it in that engine bay area. A lot of times, if there's like a bumper or something big, I'll just throw that right in the back seat. It's a good spot for it. The body shop can deal with it later. Up ahead here, there are 4 or 5 different incidents on both sides of the highway, so it's very congested. People don't know which way they're supposed to merge over, and the State Patrol is having a very, very hard time maneuvering through this traffic here. You can see primarily on the right side. You can see on the left side a little bit when there's gaps in traffic, but this whole stretch between the Lowry Tunnel and the Portland Tunnel, 94 eastbound, is just littered with cars, and there's a lot of activity going on here right now, so the congestion is off the charts. I'll speed it up a little bit so you're not sitting through anything too slow. I noticed these people, they had spun out and high-centered with the back end of their car in a lane of traffic, so I went down there and shoveled them out. After I got the snow out from under the vehicle, I was able to push it free. When the snow plows come and they plow the snow to the side, it gets really packed down and really hard. So when these vehicles come and get, stuck on the side, they get high-centered on this really, really hard snow, and sometimes it can be difficult to get free. So after I did get them free, they now have to basically just flip a little turn to face the right way. And this first driver here, he didn't want to have anything to do with being inconvenienced in the slightest. Even though there wasn't very much room, he still was determined to just squeeze right by there and didn't want to wait 2.5 seconds. The driver behind him was kind enough to be a decent individual and wait a moment so this guy could turn around and get on his way safely. So So off they go. Now I know that they're not going to be hit just sitting with the back of their car sitting in a lane of traffic. You'd be surprised how many times I shovel somebody out and forget my shovel in the snowbank. Luckily this time I remembered. I have bought way too many shovels than I care to admit. 35 east on the Maryland exit, there is a vehicle that slid through the intersection. Luckily though, a tow truck was on scene rather quickly to recover the vehicle. No harm, no foul, everybody's good. This car here managed to wipe out on both sides of the highway and basically destroy both sides of the vehicle, and the vehicle was later towed away, but I was able to capture images of both sides so you can see the extensive damage. This is a city that no matter what's going on, no matter how bad the weather is, people are going to be out, the city's going to be alive, there's always going to be things going on, it's never dead. It's a 3-car pileup. I'm not exactly sure what happened. I'd have to look at the damage and kind of analyze the crash. We have 2 ambulances that showed up, we have 3 vehicles that are disabled. This vehicle has a lot of front-end damage. We have a police officer that's blocking off that lane there. This one looks like it has a flat tire in the back and extensive crumbling in that back quarter. And then we also have this Pontiac that is sitting up a little bit farther, and it looks like it got smashed in the rear. Broke off some of that bumper. Again, plow trucks everywhere. As soon as they get salt or material down in a location and they get it cleaned, they go to another area to clean, throw down salt, do their thing, and they have to come right back because there's so much crap going on. It's hard to keep up with it. Look on the left here, you'll see this car, and I drove by him too fast to be able to stop safely, but I saw that he was smashed into a guardrail. So flipped around and came back down again to check on this vehicle, make sure there was no driver in it, make sure nobody was injured or nothing like that. It's abandoned, there's nobody currently here. You can see it's pretty heavily damaged in the front. It's nothing that's unfixable, mostly bodywork, but I did look back on the cameras later and it turns out the State Patrol was already there. This one ends up using his push bar and basically shoving him out of the lane into the wall. And then he clears the scene. And then a little bit after that, a tow truck ends up actually stopping for him as well to check on that vehicle. But again, it's abandoned. There's nobody there. The scene's already been dealt with. This is a car that slid into a stop sign. Got tipped over, broke it clean off. This is a vehicle, same intersection there, that slid down the hill, went through this yard here. And he's lucky that there was nobody coming down the street because this is a very, very common place for accidents to happen. And it looks like he got rattled a little bit as he pulls over here and slows down. This vehicle just spun out backwards. I'm not entirely sure why they couldn't just keep going. Vehicles in the ditch, just absolutely everywhere. This one has some damage in that rear corner. You can see how it's sitting kind of funky. You can see that vehicle slid out in the ditch down there, trying to avoid a different situation. And this is a better view of that car out in the ditch. And we have State Patrol and St. Paul Fire on scene here for a red pickup that smashed into the wall. The damage doesn't look terribly extensive, and I hope everybody's okay. Ambulances everywhere. There's a lot of things going on besides just traffic stuff. There was homicides, all sorts of domestics, robberies, all sorts of stuff that required ambulances. So they were crazy busy as well with the extra workload. Cardinal towing.
Let's see here. Whoa.
Wow, we got a pile up. That car's backwards. That car's got a bumper smashed off. Did they already pull the one off the edge?
Let's see here.
No, it's still there. That car's got some heavy damage. Oh, there's another one right down there.
Where? Oh, look at that.
I have a whole video on the breakdown of this crash as well. It's especially dangerous to be out here because where one car slides out, a second, a third, a fourth, there's nothing stopping more. That trooper almost gets hit by that guy, and the trooper and the driver almost get hit by this vehicle as well. This turns into a whole scene where we have fire, medical, State Patrol, everybody shows up. Twin City Towing comes to clear these vehicles, and they end up having to shut down that exit ramp down there just to make it safe to work. Here's some damage from that scene. Again, I have a whole video on this, so you can check it out to see a lot more footage and a breakdown of what actually happened. That Jeep is completely destroyed in the front, but it looks like the driver of that Jeep escaped uninjured. You can see the crumple damage in the front there, how much that hood has creased up. It's a pretty hard hit into that pole, which happened to be a pole for a traffic camera. This was a alarm that went off in an apartment building. From talking to the firefighters on scene, it turns out there was a pipe that burst, flooded an area, so they had to come shut off the water main and basically removing as much water as possible to prevent as much damage as possible. And since these 3 apartment buildings are actually connected, the alarm systems are connected, the alarm went off in all 3 sections of that building. This exit was especially slippery. So like all the stuff that's on TikTok right now with everybody posting their faces over crap. Hey, check this out. Hey, look at this. That's going to get played out and people are going to get sick of it.
Yeah.
So then when we go back to actually having original content and they start actually doing something about copyright infringement, don't worry about it, I got it. Then I'll be right up there with my own original stuff.
Yeah. And they'll be like, look, one step ahead of the game.
This vehicle down in the ditch here, she crashed around midnight, and right now it's about 2 a.m. They told her about 20 minutes for a tow truck. 2 hours later, she's still sitting here. So I stopped to check on her. The vehicle still ran, so she had heat. She was all right. She wasn't injured or anything. And she had help supposedly coming on the way. There was nothing for me to additionally assist with. So as long as she's good, I'm good. And then I can continue on my way. And I've got hours and hours more of crash footage. You're gonna have to check out my channel for more. But let's end this video on a final reminder to always slow down, pay attention, and another reminder that things can go bad any place, anytime. And if you see emergency vehicles, be sure to give them plenty of room. Otherwise, stuff like this does happen. This tow truck driver was just finishing up pulling this van out of the ditch, and he's standing next to the vehicle there when a vehicle in that right lane there ends up losing control and sliding into that van, which ends up hitting the driver, knocking him down. Luckily though, it doesn't appear that he's seriously injured. He's able to get up with the help of the officer and limp back to the patrol car and wait for an ambulance to come. If you've made it this far, thanks for watching. Special shout out to all the first responders out there for all the hard work you guys put in, especially on nights like these. If you have any thoughts, be sure to leave a comment, leave a like, and subscribe if you haven't already.